Om 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 Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamasto Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahma Nidhaye Vasishtaya Namo Namaha. Bole Shri Vedavyasa Bhagavan Ki Jai. Hari Om. Welcome to this day 78 of the Holy Gita. 78 out of 88. We have 10 more days to go to complete 88 days of the Holy Gita study. So almost 88 hours. If you take 88 days, it's 1 hour sessions. 88 to 86 hours. Sometimes it can be half an hour or 45 minutes. So Srimad Bhagavad Gita, today's chapter is, the revision and the summary that we are doing is chapter 8. Akshara Brahma Yoga, the yoga of the imperishable Brahman, the Brahman that cannot be destroyed at all. What are the summary in 7 points of chapter 8? We will go to the important verses later. Chapter 8, the questions in 1 and 2 are: what is Brahman? What is Adhyatma? What is Karma? What is Adhibhuta? What is Adhidaiva? What is Adhiyajna? A nomenclature. Arjuna is questioning on what are the meanings of these names and how to remember Bhagavan at the time of death. When I leave the body, how can I be in the memory of Bhagavan so that I merge into that Ishvara when I go? Krishna answers in chapter 8, 3 to 6, verses 3 to 6. Brahman is the imperishable absolute. Adhyatma is my own self, the Atma, the soul. Karma is the act of offering sacrifice that creates beings. Karma is that action we do when we procreate, we bring out new life. That is the ultimate meaning of karma. Otherwise, karma is any action that we do. We sweep, we mop, we teach, we do accounts, we protest, or we resign. We do so many things. So everything is karma. But the ultimate karma is the act of offering or sacrifice. That is, you just let out, you just give out. There is nothing that you hold back. When it comes to creation of beings, it is just produced and left out into the world. It is not owned for ourselves. So act of offering and sacrifice, it creates beings. Adhibhuta is a perishable body, the world. Adhidaiva, the cosmic Purusha, the supreme Purusha, the Devas. Adhiyajna, me, present in the body as a witness. I am the supreme witness, present, looking at all the action. The hand is moving. The prana inside the hand is moving. The mind is liking the movement or not liking the movement. The intellect is observing the movement and providing energy for the movement. The intellect is doing that. And then the supreme being is observing everything, right from the sense organs to the sense objects to the mind, the intellect, the thoughts, and the feelings. Adhiyajna. The key law: yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tamevati kaunteya Sada tat bhava bhavitaha yam yam vapi smaran. Whatever way you think about me, tam tam eva yeti. Tam tam eva yeti. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram. When I leave the body at the end of this lifetime, when this buddhi decides to drop the body, because the body cannot function anymore for the potential desires that I have within me, for the sankalpas that I want to be fulfilled, this body is not fit enough for that. It's not fit enough for health, it's not fit enough for movement, and mainly it cannot fulfill that sankalpa which is still present in the body. Or if there is no sankalpa, the body has no reason to exist also. Both ways the body will drop. And when the body has dropped, what thought am I having? The last thought before the dropping of the body, to that place I will go, to that memory I will go and join. So whatever state you remember at death, that you become. So what should we do in our lifetime? Our whole lifetime is a training for the time of death. At the time of death, what do I remember? Do I remember I am blissful? Do I remember I am that witness? Do I remember I am that Sat? Do I remember that I am one with Krishna, one with Rama? Do I remember all that? Do I remember the names of gods? Or do I remember Om? What do I remember at the time of death? And can I train the mind at that time when the breath is gasping and the tongue is not able to talk anything cogently or coherently, when the hands are shaking, the teeth has fallen and the sound does not come properly, and when the body is very withered and tired and painful and struggling to survive, every position we lie down or rest seems to be uncomfortable for the body at the time of death. Can I train my mind at that time to remember the truth? Even to train for public speeches or presenting a speech on the school platform, even if we train for 1 month, repeating the speech and learning it again and again and practicing, at the moment we see so many people in the audience, we forget the speech. That is the nature of the mind. So at the time of death, if I want to train my mind to remember the truth, what do I do to practice from now onwards? So train the mind now. The practice 8.7 and 8.8. What is that verse? Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhyacha abhyas. Where is it? Okay, we'll see that verse. When we are going through the verses, we'll see. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. At all periods of time, remember me and fight, Arjuna. Fight means do your work in this world. Do your duties in this world. Discharge your duties in this world. Act in this world. Fighting is, every offering that we do is a fight. If you take even doing a yajna, in those days it happened, even today it happens. Shreyamsi bahu vignani. If I want to do something great in this world, I will face so many obstacles. And what do I do with the obstacles? Not sit and cry, but fight and overcome the obstacles and go ahead with my goal. When the goal is not in sight, the obstacles seem very big. How to reach the Supreme? Verses 8, 9 and 10. Verses 9 and 10 of chapter 8. Meditate on the Kavi. Kavim Puranam Manushasitaram Anoraniyan Samanusmaridyaha Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasaf Parastat. Remember that Kavi. Remember that Krantadarshi, one who can see into the future. That is the Kavi. In an automobile language, the Kavi that is spoken of here can be compared to our headlights on the car. Kavi is the Krantadarshi. The car cannot see anything. The car is made up of metal. But the headlights of the car is made up of light. It is more subtle than the metal, and it reaches out a little bit, 5 feet to 10 feet in front. So even the eyes behind the window, behind the windshield, can see for a long distance. But with the brightness that is required to see for the next 10 feet, that kavi, which is the headlights of the car, can see. In the same way, we have the kavi or the headlight within Kranta Darshi that can see for a long distance into the future. Puranam, it is also ancient, it is also modern. Ancient means the past. Purana refers to the past. Kavi refers to the future. Anushasitaram, it is the one that is a ruler. It is the controller of our life. If at all our life is controlled by something, it is that kavi, it is that consciousness that is doing this. Anoho aniyan sam anusmaredyaha. It is smaller than an atom. Even smaller than the atoms, science has found out up to today, femtometer is the smallest particle in an atom. Even smaller than that. No distraction, with a devotion, with a lot of love in the heart, all the love that we do with others, being in love with somebody else, or loving our family members, loving our friends, or loving our girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever love we put forth into this world, every love that we practice, every love that we give to others is to remind us to give that kind of a love to that Lord, that Supreme, at the time of death. That is why Bhakti Yoga is practiced. Only when we invoke that kind of a love in us constantly, we will be able to invoke love at the time of death. Otherwise, we will have complaints, we will have criticisms, we will have regrets, we will feel guilt, we will feel shame, we will feel apathy, we will feel irritated, we will feel frustrated, we will feel I don't have money, we will feel I don't have relatives and friends around me, we will feel whatever all this, I have done so much in life, what have these people given me? All these kinds of thoughts will fill us at the time of death. And more so, if we don't do any of these practices and just we are watching television serials and the YouTube news channels also, which is generating the news throughout the day, is almost like the television serials now. Especially events like these, the protests that are happening, stone throwing and pelting and injuring and killing people, all that is coming under news today. It is not going to help us on the moksha marga at all. So if we are going to spend our life in such distractions, this end result of remembering the truth is going to be very difficult. So concentrating, even at whatever time you get to hear this, from this moment onwards, your time starts to remember that supreme truth at all times, so that at the point of leaving the body, the mind is resting on that truth. More than the art of living, the Bhagavad Gita is a very gracious art. At the mind, the body is steady, sthiram. The body is steady, sthiram, sukham, asanam. The body is steady. The mind is not wavering here and there. The mind is concentrated at one point. The intellect is supporting the steadiness of the body. And at that moment, when the life departs from the body, along with the mind, the intellect, and the sense organs, and the chitta, which is the collection of all memories and vasanas, it goes straight to that Brahman. It rests straight in Brahman, or it goes straight to where the next predominant vasana is taking us, in whichever way that is, we do not know. That is in the hands of Ishvara. With the devotion, no distraction, control of breath. Control of breath means the regulation of the breath. The nervous system is regulated when the breath is regulated. When the breath is regulated, the mind is regulated. When the mind is regulated, the breath and the nervous system are regulated. And when the nervous system is regulated, the breath and the mind are regulated. So regulating the nervous system, breath and mind. Nervous system regulation means being very clear about the output that we give for all the inputs that we get. For all the inputs that we get from the world, the output that we give will be resentment, anger, frustration, hatred, jealousy, or throwing out nasty words, or foul-mouthed words, or gossiping, or trying to pull somebody else down. These are all the different outputs that we can give. These kind of outputs will be giving a lot of negative inputs to us again. So we have to be very careful in training the mind towards the right kind of output. That is called regulation. Then the person reaches that supreme. The two paths after death, PATH, path. The two ways, as if like a forked road goes. And when you go there, if you've studied the Bhagavad Gita and the Kathopanishad and all that, at the point of death, after death, none of our family members or none of our beloved ones are going to come with us. There'll be no other traveler along with us. If we have worshipped a deity throughout our life, that deity will be present for us. That is the reason why the importance in Sanatana Dharma is always to continuously worship a deity, because that deity that knows all our past lives also is there already for us. We just have to recognize that, acknowledge that, and worship. Then the connection is very strong. The sun gives light to everybody at all times. But the person who's meditating on the sun, concentrating on the sun, will know more about the sun and will have more opportunities to know about the sun, and will have more opportunities to be grateful about the sun and the sunlight and the energy of the sun and the plants and animals that grow in that sunlight and the people who are all nourished by that sunlight. Everything will come known to him. Surya Samyamat Sarva Bhuvana Jnanam, says the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So in that same way, it is not about, it is not that the God is not connected with us. God is always connected with us only. But the more we pay attention to the connection, it becomes very strong in our perception. The rain falls for everybody, but the person who has done proper rainwater harvesting gets the complete benefit of all the rainfall. Rainwater harvesting goes down to the earth. Then he keeps nice big containers to gather the rainwater. He is very enriched with the rainwater supply. Same is with God's energy also. The more we expand our receptacle called the mind, expand our prana, expand our receptacle of the mind with the help of pranayama, asana, with the help of steadiness, with the help of knowledge, with the help of devotion, we keep expanding. Our capacity to hold that the energy of Ishvara is much, much more than one person who has not paid attention to any kind of sadhana. The conclusion is 828 verse. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yena atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Yes. How come I've come to the 9th chapter? Just a minute. I'm having the wrong chapter in my hand in the book. The last verse. So I have chanted that fully. So let's continue with this. The one-line essence of chapter 8, train your remembrance now so your last thought does not get you lost, but takes you home to that supreme self. Everywhere in all the Shastras, whether it in Sanskrit or in Tamil, the home is the last place. When we say moksha, it means param dhama, that supreme space, beyond which there is nothing. That supreme space is where the supreme rests finally, param dhama. Even in Tamil, like in Sanskrit, you say dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Moksha is, in Tamil, it is translated as veed peru. What is this? Aram, porul, inbam, veed. Aram is dharma, porul is artha, earning material wealth and the wealth of thoughts and wealth of knowledge. Kama is fulfilling our desires in this world. And moksha is veed. Veed means home, reaching home. Aham is my home. Om is my home. To make them the law of last thought. Verse 8, so verse 6 of chapter 8, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Sorry, that's verse 3. Swabhavo Dhyatma Muchyate verse 6, I already chanted that. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Yam yam, whoever vapi, whosoever indeed, smaran bhavam, what they are thinking, the what state of mind they are in, tyajati ante kalevaram, they drop the body at the end of their lifetime, kalevaram, tam tam eva yeti, yam yam vapi tam tam eva, whatever, that one, I reach, kaunteya, sada tadbhava bhavitaha. Sada means at all times he is in that memory alone. To that memory he reaches. For example, if a person is going on thinking about, there is a regret, I did not write my IAS exam in this lifetime. And I see so many people in the IAS and services, and I see so many people doing great things through the services. And I really have the desire to write that exam. And I'm going on thinking all my life about writing IAS exam. So at the time of death, what will happen? This IAS thought is a predominant thought, and I will go there. I will either be born in the family of a family of IAS officers who will have that, who will give me that kind of an input to study and write the IAS and clear the exam easily, or I will merge with the memory of some IAS officer. That possibility is also there. It is not that we will always come back to do something. If our other vasanas are very strong and we don't need to come back to the earth, we don't need to be born physically. Even in the immaterial realm also, at the realm of the devas also, our wishes can be fulfilled. The last thought. If this verse is true, what one thought are we practicing daily now? It is the last thought doesn't happen on the last day of our life. The last thought happens from now. From this moment, we hear about the importance of having the right last thought in our life. And from this moment onwards, we start practicing what is that last thought we are going to have. Like, for example, if I have to talk in an important phone conversation, I will write down the details of the conversation. And suppose I want a solution to a problem, and I'm going to meet somebody, and I find out what is the question I ask myself by which that meeting will go on smoothly, and I will get the maximum benefit out of the meeting. And then I prepare that question also. For example, what is it this person wants from me? Is that question. What is this person wants from me that I can offer? If I want to keep this question in mind and go for the meeting, I will be constantly remembering myself, reminding myself without distracting, what is it that this person wants from me, and in what way, if I contribute, we can achieve a win-win situation. What is it that this person wants from me at this meeting, and in what way I contribute, we can achieve this win-win situation. The exact words, what is it that this person wants from me, and in what way I contribute, we can achieve this win-win situation. If I just go like a train track with this thought, I will sit there, and that exactly that goal which I need will get fulfilled, and there will be a win-win situation at the end of it without losing my energy. So in the same way, if I want to leave this body with the thought of the divine, from this point onwards, I practice that. What is the name of the divine that I want to be chanting at the time of death? So what is that? What is our one thought that we are practicing right now? You can check what is the predominant thought in my mind. How do I find the predominant thought in my mind? There are several parts of the body. There are many places where the body shrinks or there is pain. In those spaces, check with yourself whether it is in the chest or whether it's in the shoulder. There may not be pain. There may be some slump in the shoulder, or there may be some hollow in the chest. There may be a pit in the stomach that you feel. There may be some butterflies in the stomach, or there may be some dragging down of the face, feeling very low. You just focus on that part of the body and ask, what is the thought that this part of the body is holding? You will get the thought that is in your mind, the predominant thought in your mind. And then when you wake up in the morning, what is the first thought that you are getting? That will also show what is the predominant thought that is in your mind at all times. Your first thought when you wake up. And suddenly, when you are not thinking of anything, and what is that thought which comes again and again and again in your mind? It is a memory of a person, or is it a memory of an object, or it is a memory of a problem that you keep getting again and again and again in your mind. These are the ways to find out our predominant thoughts. The last one thought, administration. Krishna says, remember me and fight. It is a very great management advice in our boardrooms, in our corporate platforms, on the stage, in the academia, wherever we go, there is a constant fight. We have to put out our energy and we get some results out of it, which should inspire us to furthermore do something better and greater to put out our energy. So there is always a sense of nervousness. There is always a sense of defeatism. There is always a sense of lack. There is always a sense of, am I good enough for all this? All those feelings are there. Setting out all those feelings, take up that one thought and memorize that thought. Remember that thought. Focus on the thought. Repeat the thought again and again and again. And so that is called abhyasa. Remember me and fight. Fight means do our work. How is this vairagya in the action for a grihastha? In action, remember me is abhyasa, and then do action, whether it is the action at home, or whether it's the action at office, or whether it's the action at the boardroom, or whether it's in the action, the political platform. All are actions. That is, action is vairagya, thought is abhyasa. Ice blocks. If vasanas are ice, how does constant remembrance act as a heat throughout the day and melting all those ice blocks in us? Vasanas, or the results of the actions that we have done in the past. Past means until the last moment is all past vasanas. The results are all stored in us as ice blocks of consciousness or awareness, which can sometimes be painful also. And what is that remembrance that breaks these ice blocks, that melts these ice blocks? Brahma Muhurta. Why is waking up and remembering God first thing directly linked? What are the two verses? Let us see. 8:5. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. Antakale cha mameva. Antakale cha mameva smaran. Remembering me alone, muktva kalevaram, the person drops the body, kalevaram, yaha prayati, such a person who completely goes in that direction, samadbhavam yati. Where does that person reach? That person reaches me, the Supreme Self. Na asti atra samshayaha. There is no doubt in this at all. And the 7th verse we already saw. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam Tyajatyante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Yam yam vapi, whatever smaran bhavam, whatever memory I am having, tyajati ante kalevaram, at the time of dropping the body, tam tameva eti, there only I will go. Sada tad bhava bhavitaha. All the time, if you are contemplating on Om, 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 or Brahman, or Gita, 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 or Krishna, 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 or Rama, 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 Devi, 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 or Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Drik, Drishya, whatever thought we are having at the point of death, or ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. We will be born in an ice cream factory. We will be born in an ice cream where we are dispensing off with ice creams every day. We may not be the owner of the ice cream factory. We will be born depending on other vasanas also. It is not just that if I desire to get an MBBS seat, and I also write the NEET exam, it is not that I will pass. I have to work hard for it. I have to do a lot of other sacrifices. I also should be able to have the money and the resources to study and the resources to pay for the fees once I get it. So many factors are there. It is not just one thing, like I study and I get. It doesn't happen so easily. That's the same thing with the death also. At the time of death, whatever is a predominant thought and the other thoughts that are not dragging me in the opposite direction also is very important. So how does it become a devotional thing to study this chapter 8? The body releases when we offer vasanas to the deity, to the divine. The body also lets go of all the problems and traumas and the boils and the diseases that it is having. The letting go process is that. Is that not adhiyajna? The body is the adhiyajna, accepting the offering. How do we prepare ourselves for this final moment? By chanting, by remembering, by prayers, by meditation, and constantly seeking the Lord at all times and in all places. Abhyasa now decides, adhigati later. Abhyasa is the one that is making the decision. Yes, I will lead this kind of a disciplined life where I discipline my thoughts to think about the Supreme, think about Ishvara, think about Bhagavan. Adhigati is the gati in which I go and reach finally. Practice decides the destination. So whatever I practice in my mind, I reach that place. If I am confused, my destination will be confused. If I am very clear, I will reach where I chose to reach. So this, even today, it's very, very interesting. I was following this CJP and the Gundas and other protests that were happening, where people offloaded a lot of Gundas from different parts of the country, and they were hitting everybody. They were killing police personnel and injuring police personnel, and many students also got hurt in the process because of there. Nobody is going to hit anybody. Nobody is going to lathi charge anybody who's very disciplined. But when the situation goes beyond control, then you cannot have control over what is happening. Whoever is in charge of controlling will control the situation in the right manner, in the manner in which they have been trained to do. There is no doubt about that. So we cannot blame anybody for hitting or mauling whoever it is, even whether it is a police or whether it is the protesters also. But these two words are coming to my mind now. All these days I was watching this. As I was watching, there was only a lot of regret. My God, what is it happening? It is going on and on. Is there no end to this? This kind of a thought process was going on all these days, especially the last few days when the protest was turning violent from July 20th onwards. But today, what I did, I set my mind. Whatever television channel, whatever YouTube channel I was watching this news, and whatever I was seeing on the news about the reportage, I made it my point to put my comment on two things. There was a channel called Republic World on which they were covering this news. I was seeing the breaking news where they were talking about the protests. They were talking about yesterday's meeting with the CJP and the government ministers. They were talking about all that. And at that time, I put this comment. The comment was, focus on what you want. Abhyasa. I want peace. I want harmony. I want goodwill to prevail in the society. I want joy. I want bliss. I want the comfort of a good administration. This is what we want. We all want that. We don't want fighting. We don't want disharmony. We don't want restlessness. We don't want anarchy. We don't want all that. So take focus on what I want. I just wrote that Abhyasa. Focus on what we want. Peace, harmony, full stop. And then Vairagya. Withdraw our attention from whatever we don't want. We don't want anarchy. We don't want vandalism. We don't want fighting. So withdraw attention from all that. This is the key thing that nobody knows. It is spoken in the Bhagavad Gita. It is spoken in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, in the Yoga Vasishtha. Everywhere, if you want to control a situation, these are the two ways. If you want to quieten the mind, these are the two ways. If you want your administration to be on a par with the world-class administration, These are the two ways. What is the two ways? Abhyasa, abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena cha grihyate. Abhyasa vairagyabhyam tan nirodhaha. Patanjali Yoga Sutra says, chitta vritti nirodhaha yogaha. How do I do the chitta vritti nirodhaha? The chitta vritti is all dance. The chitta vritti is my whole country is chitta vritti. It is just wherever I see in the country, there is anarchy, there is vandalism. That is my chitta vritti. The chitta vritti is dancing all the five sense elements in my vision, which is sending the consciousness outside, is dancing. And how do I control that? How do I manage that? Can I do it as a single person? Yes, it is possible. That is what all our rishis are doing. After leaving their bodies, they're all sitting in the next realm, and their attention is on the world, on the administration of the world, on the affairs of the world, and they are meditating for the welfare of the world, because they are doing the chitta vritti nirodhaha for us. Our life is very, very balanced for most part of the time, unless we ourselves create our own imbalance in life by all these events, by not thinking before what we do, or acting out of impulse, and acting out of hatred, acting out of jealousy, acting out of a sense of frustration. All this happens. So I just wrote that abhyasa, because even the newscasters, the podcasters don't know. They do not know the dynamics or the mechanics of how to quieten the mind. Whatever is happening in our country, it is only the disturbance in the mind that is manifesting as events in the world. If the mind is quiet, the world will be peaceful, the world will be harmonious. So how can a journalist, how can a reporter, how can a lawyer, how can a politician, how can a head of a government, how can a teacher, how can a doctor, how can a lawyer, how can a politician, how can a anchor, news anchor, how can they control situations? Everywhere we need to be on the top of situations. How can we do that? We can do that by focusing on the one point. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram. Yam yam vapi smaran. Whatever I am remembering, that one point I remember, and I keep focusing on that point, I will get through. I will cut the ice in any place, in any situation, in any difficult situation. I will be able to find my way out, even if I'm lost in a forest of there may be wild animals in the forest, and I have to find my way back to the bus stop. It is getting dark. It has not yet got dark. It is just getting dark. At that time, if I get agitated and I give in to fear, I might get lost. I might get eaten up by some animal also. But if I drop the fear and I hold on to, maybe he's chanting the Hanuman Chalisa, Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nijamanu Mukur Sudhari Bharanau Raghubara Vimala Jasu Jodaya Kuphalachari Buddhihina Tanujanike Sumirau Pavana Kumara Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kalesha Vikara Jaya Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar Jai Kapi Sati Gulo Kaujagar Ramaduta Tulita Baladhama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama. This happy singing, what it does, it sends waves of joy. The waves of joy. If you put the person on an ECG, you will see the ECG waves. If you put the person on an EEG chanting the Hanuman Chalisa, you will see the waves coming out. So the waves of joy, the waves of power, the waves of power of Hanumanji begin to spread around you like a big field around you. And the waves will see that no wild animals have a different wavelength. Their wavelength is power. Their wavelength is aggression. They can enter into any aura because they have an aggressive wavelength. And if they are hungry, they do not need to think. But this power of Hanumanji, the waves of Hanumanji, is so calm, so soothing that the animal will become quiet. And the animal, the aura, the field of that aura, the light field around us when we chant is so thick and so divine and so powerful that no other being can enter inside unless we invite them. How do we invite them? We invite them with our fear. We invite them with our anxiety. We invite them with our doubts. We invite them with our low self-worth. We invite them with our low self-esteem. We invite situations into our life with low self-image. We invite situations in our life with guilt, with anger, with hatred, with jealousy. All this make our field very weak. If the field is very strong, no power can come in and destroy that field. We are the moving field at all times. We are not a person. We are a field that is moving around places. So, Abhyasa. So I wrote in the comment, that is, focus on what we want for the country and talk only about that. They have to take it as a challenge. Initially, it may not, the TRP ratings may become different if you do this. But if you really are genuinely interested in the good things to happen for the country, then this is the way. Whether it is a newspaper, whether it is a magazine, whether it is a what to say, a television channel, a news channel, or a podcast. If our interest is in the country's progress, focus on what is it that the country needs. Make that sankalpa before. What is it my country needs to excel in this field that I'm talking about? And focus only on that topic. How to manifest that topic. How to manifest that content in my life, in our life. Focus on that. That is called abhyasa. Vairagya is contrary to that. If any element is causing any kind of disturbance, take your eyes away from that. For example, in this present condition, what is it that we want? We want students to go to college. We want students to study well. We want examinations to happen well in the future without any kind of a disturbance or any kind of a paper leakage or corruption and all. We want that. And then we want that students should benefit by it and benefit by the good education system and raise their bar in life. We want peace among the people. We want harmony. We want children to be happy. We want babies to be happy, nourished and grow. We don't want babies to be sitting in protest sites just for the ego of the mothers. The small babies and the small children are brought to the protest site and they think that it is so glorious to do such thing. We don't want all that, right? We don't want our babies to be killed in the battlefield, in a mudslinging and stone throwing. Have we become so idiotic that we take pride in bringing our babies to the protest site where people are throwing stones and people are lynching each other? So when we don't want this, don't even focus on all this. These people will die with lack of attention. Attention is what feeds all of them. Attention feeds drama. Drama is fed with attention. If you remove attention, if you remove the spotlight, if you remove all the encouragement that we give in terms of positive as well as negative or cheerleading all these people, if we remove all that, the whole drama will fall flat. So, abhyasa. This is where Bhagavad Gita is relevant in our day-to-day life. And abhyasa now decides. So what happened? After I put that first comment, I just tried it out. Why am I just complaining about what is happening? Like frustrated about what is happening? Let me do what it takes for me to do. It is just a simple comment that I put. Abhyasa, focus on peace and harmony. The media persons can please focus on peace and harmony in society. Create that only. Focus on that only. Vairagya, withdraw from all people who do not serve this peace and harmony. Withdraw your attention from talking about and giving your media attention to all those people. Withdraw. Abhyasa, Vairagya. And hardly had I finished that comment and hardly had two other people commented over me about something else. People don't generally think like this way. They keep thinking on this faction or that faction and they keep mudslinging. Even the comment section also is only a fighting that's happening. Not only on the screen where people fight, the comment section also is only fighting of between factions. But after I posted this, the next was breaking news that the education minister had submitted his resignation. And that brought an end to so many difficult situations after that. And I think the protest is also being called off or whatever. So it happened like this now, today. It happened even during the time, the same process of abhyasa and vairagya, which I followed, when it is concerning the public, something related to the public administrative level, where our Bhagavad Gita works. I have already mentioned this on our one of these talks. When in Tamil Nadu, this after Jayalalitha's death, Chief Minister Jayalalitha's death, and this Shashikala and all the ministers, we all know about this resort, holding all the ministers together in a resort and wanting to form the government. There was so much of instability in the atmosphere. And I just prayed. I chanted Yada, Yada, because I want Dharma. Bhagavan has promised that there will be, when Dharma is declining, I will be there. I want to see how you are going to fulfill this promise. You won't believe this happened. Even if one person does, it is possible to happen. If that one person does with a lot of faith, I'm not saying because I did it, it happened. I'm saying because even if you are just one person who is listening to this and employing this in your life, even you can make it happen. So that is the power of faith. So I just chanted 108 times, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata Abhyuthanam Adharmasya Tadatmanam Srujamyaham Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Cha Dushkritam Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. That is the reason why people who are all men of God, people who are all studying the Shastras, people who are all contemplating on the Shastras, people who are all meditating, people who are all living a quiet sattvic life are all people who are all very dangerous to the society which wants to create anarchy, which wants to do things. Always these people with a simple thought, they can overpower the whole situation and change the tide of events by invoking that Ishvara, invoking that Bhagavan, placing that Bhagavan in the situation. And then there is a game changer. So immediately after that comment, I had given the news appeared that the education minister, union education minister Dharmendra Pradhan has resigned. And I pointed out to my previous comment, I hardly barely completed saying that with Abhyasa and with Vairagya, you will be able to win over situations in your life. And now with this process, a different event is now begun to set on. I completed the comment a second time. After the resignation happened, I posted this referring to the previous comment. So this is possible by us. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tameva iti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhya cha yudhya. Today that is what the people were doing. No, all these days they were doing yuddha. But the people who have all been saved, the people who have all come out strong and come out energetic after all these days of crisis are the people who will always be having some sadhana inside them, and that sadhana will always protect them from any kind of a disturbance from outside, any kind of a disturbance from other people, any kind of a disturbance from our own mind, and any kind of a disturbance from the collective in the world also. So may we all continue our sadhana as pointed out by Bhagavan in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and we will come to our chapter 9, Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga tomorrow. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kasyit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya, Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Boliye Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Hare Namah Parvati Pataye. Hara Hara Mahadeva. Hari Om. Let's meet again tomorrow.